Hear me out. This isn't the type of cartoon conspiracy exposed video where it's like, what if Izzy was evil the whole time? What if Benson smoked crack and all of Regular Show was in his imagination? What if Mort from the Penguins of Madagascar like
fingers up your booty? No.
Nah, baby, this is going straight to the top. This is just as much about the people who make the show as it is about the people in the show. Total Drama Island. All in all, pretty good show. Hell, it's probably most of the reason I make any bread off YouTube, so it can't be that bad. However, it's not without its flaws. And I think that if you asked any Total Drama fan what they thought the worst part of the show was, they'd probably all say the same thing, and that is the fart jokes, because oh my god. I swear to God, bro, y'all are lucky I even make Total Drama videos at all anymore, because this is foul. Oh God, it makes me embarrassed to be a YouTuber. Like, if I ever get outed as a YouTuber in public and someone asks what my vids are about, I just lie and say I'll film dead bodies in forests, because that is less embarrassing than having someone look up Total Drama and have the first thing they see be a big green rap cloud coming out somebody's booty cheeks. It's filthy and it looks bad on me. So honestly, y'all better be liking and subscribing for this to make it worth my while, because I need to pay for therapy with these YouTube dollars, bro. Total Drama is nasty as hell, and honestly, that's what this conspiracy is about. I have reason to believe that these whack-ass fart jokes aren't necessarily just a poor excuse at comedy, but they might be something a lot more nefarious. I think somebody making this show is getting off on these. Let me tell you why. Now, do I think this was always the case? Maybe, but probably not. Keep in mind, Total Drama came out first in like 2007. And back then, gross out humor was the meta. It had been since like the early 2000s. Total Drama was sharing airwaves with Camp Lazlo, Flapjack, and My Gym Partner is a Monkey. If they didn't throw in a fart joke or two, they would have sang. There were still definitely some sus moments from the earlier seasons that made me squint my eye and go, The most egregious example of this being that one time in Total Drama Action, where during the war challenge, they bend Lashana over and use her farts as a mustard gas equivalent. Man, fuck this show. Honestly, fuck this show. However, other than scenes like that showing up pretty scarcely here and there, the first few seasons of Total Drama are all in all pretty chill. There's still a lot of fart jokes, don't get me wrong, and none of them are funny, but they don't make me sex pervert uncomfortable, and we're gonna take that as a W for this video. However, as the original run of Total Drama seasons comes to an end, you can notice something start to change. By all accounts, the gross out era is over. Shows like Camp Lazlo and My Gym Partner is a Monkey have been long canceled at this point, and the shows that followed them up, like Adventure Time, Regular Show, Gumball, even Steven Universe, even though I didn't vibe with it, they left that gross out humor in the 2000s where it belonged, and they got their humor from other aspects. But Total Drama didn't do that. Total Drama just kept on doing his thing. As a matter of fact, it's going harder on these fart jokes than it ever has before. Now, when I say go harder than ever before, I don't necessarily mean in quantity. That stayed pretty flat throughout. Like, these showrunners put in characters like Owen and Ripper for a reason, and by God, do they use them. No, when I say going harder, I mean that through Redonkulous Race to Total Dramarama to the reboot, these fart jokes have been getting more and more, how do I say this? Intense? I mean freaky. It's getting more and more freaky, it's weird. And throughout these newer seasons, and honestly Total Drama as a whole, I don't think an episode proves my point better than probably the most infamous Total Drama episode of all time at this point. Total Dramarama Season 2, Episode 15, Total Eclipse of the Fart. Yeah, the Fart Fairy episode. Now, if you didn't know about this truly prestigious episode of television before watching this video, first of all, I'm so sorry for ruining it for you. Like, this shit is nasty, and I don't want people to know about it, honestly. But essentially, a clip from the episode kind of blew up on Twitter for being nasty. The clip showing essentially what was a small floating adult man, kind of an Elvis Presley looking motherfucker, showing up behind the cast of Total Dramarama, which, might I remind you, are daycare kids. They're literal toddlers. And getting right behind them and sniffing the farts directly out of their ass. You know what? I'm done. Nah, fuck this video. Fuck y'all. I'm making pasta. Fuck y'all. I'm sick of this. I'm fucking... Yeah, fun fact, I was recording that bit and I actually got locked out of my room for a bit. Dude, I'm in the trenches recording this. Please, y'all. You gotta support me for the commitment. However, I never really watched Total Dramarama, so I haven't actually seen the full episode. I only know about it from the clips. And so, due to some mix of journalistic integrity and straight up masochism, I figured I had to watch it in order to make this video. And oh my sweet baby Jesus, this episode is wilder than I ever could have imagined. Before I go into anything about the episode itself, just a general thought on Total Dramarama as a concept, because I haven't seen any of it before. What the fuck is up with this soundtrack, dude? The soundtrack is mostly made up of like marimbas, xylophones, kazoos, and like children screaming in the background. And honestly, it gives the show a really surreal vibe. Like, if you put some reverb and some spooky piano behind this OST, I could see it turning into a horror movie soundtrack like really easy. And honestly, it does kind of fit the show because, oh my god, this was a horror to experience. The plot of this episode follows the titular fart fairy after he gets straight up kidnapped by Lashana. And after a way too long montage of him stalking children and sniffing their farts, the rest of the episode becomes about... Y'all remember that one meme where the guy's like, oh, I'm a thirsty little flower and I'm gonna die if you don't water me with your pee. It turns into that. And keep in mind, he's doing this to children. This absolute felon of a character, mixed with a ton of cutaway jokes that aren't funny and last way too long.
Cody, what did I tell you about doing math? Remember what happened last time?
Mixed with this insane soundtrack, honestly make Total Eclipse of the Fart like a surreal nightmare experience to watch. Unfortunately for me though, the Fart Fairy episode seems to have set a bit of a precedent. Because in episode 5 of the Total Drama reboot called Jurassic Fart, the Fart Fairy episode seems to have gotten a spiritual successor, down to being like just as unhinged.
Ew! Are you flirting with me about my farts?
Yes, I am.
With the plot of this episode essentially being like a fucked up mix between A Quiet Place and Squid Game, where the contestants have to go from point A to point B, but if they make too much noise, then a bunch of dinosaurs are gonna attack them. And also, Chris fed them a bunch of beans before they did the challenge so they would fart and make noise. This show is very dumb. Essentially, the episode is an excuse to have all the characters fart and then like hang out with dinosaurs or something. I don't know. The real bugging thing about this episode isn't that they're farting. Total Drama's been doing that the whole time. The issue is how it's drawn. Oh my god. These aren't attempts at comedy anymore. We're hitting something completely separate. She's hitting the Marilyn Monroe pose right now. Are you kidding me? And it's here where the conspiracy starts to reveal itself, because I don't think this is a coincidence. Because on its own, in an era of cartoons where fart jokes aren't as big as they used to be, it's evidence enough to say that Total Drama has not only kept it up, but doubled down, adding in a full-on, like, weirdly sexual fart episode every season. But that's all just sort of conjecture. It's not really the nail in the coffin. Nah. The nail in the coffin is the Fart Fairy himself. Specifically, the Fart Fairy's design. I think this is somebody's self-insert. Now look, hear me out. I know this is like an on-God accusation, so I would just like to preface what I'm saying here with, I don't know whose self-insert this is meant to be. And even if I did, I don't want to put him on blast. That's some demon time. But I'd hazard a guess they were probably brought on around Total Dramarama and just stayed on for Island 2023. And the reason I think that is that the Fart Fairy actually shows up again in Total Drama Island 2023. At least kind of. Every season of Total Drama has interns. They're not usually all that important, but they're like kind of a way for the team to do inside jokes. Like famously, there was an intern during like Total Drama Action or World Tour. That was the original design for Tyler. It's stuff like that. And Total Drama Island 2023 is no exception. However, as I was rewatching the series for this video, something caught my eye. Look at this guy. Seems pretty normal at first glance. He's just driving the boat. However, if you look a little closer, you notice his face shape seems kind of familiar. And then you look a little closer, you look at his hair, which, according to changes in style between shows, kind of looks like a pompadour.
Kind of an Elvis Presley looking motherfucker.
And then you go back to Total Dramarama, take another look at the Fart Fairy, realize, hey, wait a minute, if this guy's color scheme wasn't like a gross brown and green, he'd kind of look similar to Oh my god. They put him back! They put this motherfucker back in! He did it again! Is this a coincidence? Yeah, probably. It's funny to think about though. Honestly, no matter what the story behind these episodes are, whether they're a creepy sex thing forced in by one guy, whether it's a creepy sex thing forced in by the whole team, or if it's just a thing Total Drama's held on to from like another era of cartoons, I find it so interesting how Total Drama holds on to this fart thing as like a figment of its identity. Like that whole team really came together and said, you know what? This is where we draw the line. We're keeping this forever. And do I understand it? Nah. Do I like it? Hell fucking nah. But it's still something that the creators of a show I like think is funny. And as much as I disagree, I still think that's like a fun look into their psyche and shit. Weird little idiosyncrasies like that can honestly make a show for me. So even though Total Dramas is kind of whack, like I appreciate the concept and I think it's a cool thing to look into. TLDR though, the government is run by an evil shadow cabal of fart fetish ass hoes. They got Joe Biden in there. They got Tom Hanks in there. They led by this motherfucker. It's back. He's their leader.
Outside, I keep on cooking and I keep it pushing. These niggas is mad, I'm still alive. Looking at niggas' eyes, keep it bump with the talk. I see niggas die. I don't phone, I don't trust us how niggas ride. Shit, I'm wildin'.